Hey guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Dust 514 video. Right, well, let's get straight to it. I gathered some of the CPM members together and asked them some questions. A lot of the questions came from you guys yourselves. I got 103 questions. They all came from local, other chats that I was in, PlayStation message, in-game message, and obviously Skype. Thank you very much for your participation in this and your questions, guys. Thank you very much. I categorized basically the questions and asked a few of my own. And a lot of the questions were the same, actually. Thank you to Schley for his question. It was quite prudent and quite direct. Cheers, Schley. Thanks. Having said that, my audio is a bit shocking in this video, and believe it or not, what you listen to is still quite shocking. I haven't edited, tweaked, twerked, nothing. This entire file. Mostly because I had a massive car accident with an 18-wheeler, and I'm currently on my back, braces, neck, stitches, the whole fucking bang shoot. And yeah, can't do it, can't be bothered, too sore. Having said that, CPM answered their questions quite admirably, and I thought they did quite well. If you guys click on this link that's just popped up now, it's a link to a blog site that I post my thoughts and opinions on various games and so on and so forth, including my Tinfoil stuff. I won't hide away from that. People like Booker, G-Talk, Grid Breather, even Jadek Menahan are also posting on that blog site. A good friend of mine, Snagman, Smurf, you all know Smurf, and so on and so forth, all having a good old laugh and giggle and trying to create better content for ourselves and for you guys to listen and watch too. Plus a whole lot of silent people out there gathering information and researching stuff for us so that we don't sound like complete nuts tools. Thank you guys for doing that. Anyway, back on subject, back on track. What you guys are going to basically listen to is me asking the CPM questions. And yeah, they answered the questions quite well. And I would like to thank Sir Manboy for confirming PS4 and Dust 514. Yay! Thank you, Sir Manboy. Love you long time. Right, without further ado, guys, here's the video and the audio. It's about an hour long. And make sure you bring a couple of beers and several bacon sandwiches with you. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Cheers. Bye. Right, well guys, welcome back to another Dust 514 video, yay! And in today's video, I am going to be speaking to 3 of the CPM members. Unfortunately, the rest of them weren't able to join me, but I will endeavour to get their responses to the exact same questions I'm going to pose to these 3. And I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm going to introduce Sarai Zell. Sarai, say hi.
Hey.
Sir Manboy, give us a wave.
Hi everybody. Good to be here.
And Keeble Longstrap. Keeble, show us your eyes.
Hello.
And my co-host tonight is obviously the gorgeous, the fabulous, the beautiful Booker the Looker.
I'd like to say you were totally wrong on that score, but you are, of course, completely.
Well, I have seen you in the real life, so you are absolutely gorgeous for a 50-year-old man.
Oh, I haven't reached that far yet, you donut.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah. Next time I send an 18-wheeler your way, I'll get it to...
You'll get the 18-wheeler to do what, Booker?
The proper job.
Nothing can kill me.
For those who don't know, Bam narrowly escaped this week from an 18-wheeler.
Hey, I'm still here.
Oh, don't escape. Yeah.
I'm still here. Happy days. Right, well, let's get straight into this. Right, as I said before, I've been able to grab together 3 of the CPM members, and I have got a lovely response from you guys. I've got about 103 questions from you. Most of them are the same, and because there's such a few number of CPMs guys in here, I'm going to basically answer the most asked question. And some of them are quite trolly, so CPM guys, take it as read. They are trolls, so answer them. True.
As trolls.
Yeah, as trolls. So, yeah, happy fucking days. We'll get started. Right, so, Sarazal, Sir Manboy, and Keeble. One of the main questions was, do you guys still play Dust?
Yeah, actually, I've been off for a while. I was back on it the other day. I had I was moving in December, and my electrician is really busy, and it took him a few weeks to get to me. So I didn't have power outlets that worked where my PS3 was, and so that's back. I'm back. I'm finally piling up my my droves of strong boxes. So I'm experiencing that now. So that's lots of fun.
Yay, strong boxes, whoop-de freaking, yeah, happy days. So man boy.
The short answer is hell yes, my friend. You don't get 85 million skill points if you don't play. So,
Whoa.
yeah, I played the shit out of this game. Love it.
SMB's got us all beat.
That's
right now,
impressive,
so-
I'll give you that. That is very impressive. 85 million, you're looking at me with like 35 million. God, I'm such a noob compared to you, damn.
Yeah, I just left the 6-man squad to come on here, actually.
You left Dust to come talk to me. You've got some
And?
dedication, dude.
I heard something about beer and bacon, man, and I came a running. So
It gets him every
brother.
time.
Hallelujah, brother. Beer and bacon, beer and bacon. There will be beer on your way out and a bacon sandwich as well. Don't you worry about that. Keeble, dude, you're on, please.
Yeah, I'm still playing. Like SMB, you don't get 55 million skill points for doing nothing. I've just actually been off for 2 weeks. I was snowboarding last week, and then we've been having some CPM stuff this week, as you've probably noticed on the forums.
Yes,
I started playing in the last couple of days, and boy, do I suck after 2 weeks off.
Welcome to the club. I've sucked since I started playing.
Yeah, welcome to my world. I've never got beyond suck, so good luck in getting out of that trench.
Okay, good. Happy days. Good answer from everyone there. Alright. The next question is, why do you guys think there is so low morale currently in Dust 514?
I think that there's still. I think a lot of people have seen that there is things that are said to be coming. We've seen the systems that have been described and explained and whatnot, but there's still no and this is a fair point that someone had made is that we have not yet seen. We have a roadmap, which is great, but we have not yet. We had a roadmap at FanFest 2013 too. And it was a roadmap that was completely impossible and never came to pass. So I think players still are in some ways waiting for the proof behind the roadmap, namely for the things on the roadmap to actually get done.
You said roadmap a lot of times there. But why do
I like
you
the
think
roadmap, it's
specifically there is such low morale in Dust? Is it low morale in the product, which is Dust 514? Is it a morale issue with the CPM? Is it a morale issue with the devs? I don't specifically know, hence the question. So,
well,
please
I mean,
answer.
I think it would be the game and CCP. I mean, people have taken a series of huge hits from CCP, and I think it's going to take time for to recover from that. And there are issues with the game, and it is been a couple of years, and some of the same issues are still there. So it's just a matter of churning through them and getting things done. I don't think the CPM is as big of a deal from a morale standpoint, because we're just a bunch of players who tell CCP stuff, and hopefully we're actually becoming a little bit more irrelevant in certain aspects now that CCP is more directly running everything by the players before it becomes a thing. So.
Okay, that's a good answer. So, Manboy, yours, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just give you another take on it. I mean, I think people need more things to do, new things to do. Hopefully this PC rehaul, does a lot towards creating some excitement in the game. Down the road, there'll be more additions too. More barge thing's going to be exciting. So we just need more content, man. You can only expect so much excitement from the community. Game modes, the same types of matches. I mean, everything for so long. Content, and that's going to help. But there are going to be persistent aggravations that are going to be with us for a while. I mean, we're probably never going to wash the out of our mouth from best issues from the previous year, but I have a feeling that over body at the helm, we're gonna get at least back to where we were, and who knows what the future holds, but we just need more to do, man. That's what it comes down to. We need more game modes, more match types. We need more content, more
That's
stuff. I
not
think
very That's not a very how am I going to phrase this? That's actually a very, very good insight into it. So you're saying the lack of content and the lack of variety in the actual game is making people put the game down and moving on to something else. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, there are always going to be people. I mean, I'm not one of those guys. I
User
am.
in your channel timed out.
I'm the kind of person who only plays like 3 games at a time in my life, so I can't relate to these people that like to play 10, 12 games at a time. I emotionally invest myself in games, whether it be Dust or Skyrim previously. That was a game that I loved, so I stick around, but players can be flighty, and if they're not satisfied and if they don't find the rewarding, then they'll move on, but I think for the player base that we have, they're going to be rewarded over time for being loyal and for sticking. That right now we're trying to get over the hump.
User in your channel
There's a lot of
is
stuff in the
recording.
pipeline, and like I said, I think with the PC 4 barge stuff, and who knows what Rattati's going to do in the future. This game has a nice future. Never going to be a wild, incredible success. I mean, no, probably not on the level of these Class A shooters, but I think it's a better place a year from now than.
That's very, very good. Good answer there. I like that. That's actually quite a good answer there. I like it. Keeble, yours, please.
Well, I mean, personally, I think that any accusations of low morale are probably flung more around on the forums. And we've got to remember that the forums is only a small proportion of the player base. A vocal part and an important part, but still a minority. So, I mean, when it comes to talking to players, I don't tend to talk to them on the forums. It's when I actually speak to them playing the game, and that's when I get my feedback from them. That's more direct. There are frustrations out there, of course. I'd be foolish to deny otherwise that there'd be some problems with the game. But for me personally, when I speak to players, they still enjoying the game a great deal, and they still like it. So I don't want to be seen as being like a complete cheerleader for the game, because God knows I know there's problems with it, because I've been shouting at CCP for 2.5 years about a lot of them. But as far as an overall general feeling of low morale pervading the whole game, I don't get that impression from my interactions with players.
Alright, so you use the actual game itself more than the forums, and you are correct. The forums, according to CCP stats, in FanFest there's 300,000 monthly players, and only roughly around 300 people voted. So is that what you're saying? 1% of the people are on the forums, so that's what you're getting at, yes?
As well, those that actively participate on the forums, those that actually type in every other day, it's probably somewhere in the region of. I asked Krieber to do a check for me once. It was something in the region of about 300 to 400 people regularly post on the forums. But obviously, we have a lot more lurkers as well, and a lot of people don't bother registering for these things. And part of the problem with the forums as well, for me personally, is that because it is such a small amount of the player base, that when with Dust University, we had a lot of our lessons and what have you on the forum in our own private corporation chat, but no one was using it. So now I do it all internally by corp mail and stuff like that, because it's a much more effective way of speaking directly to the players.
Okay, so you're grabbing your feedback from your actual corp, which is Dust University, yes, and Dust University aims to teach people how to play Dust, very similar to EVE University, yes.
Yeah. I mean, so like I say, I consciously switched at the beginning of last year from going on a forum-based tutorial system to basically I send about 40 emails to every new starter now, with various tips and hints and training 101s for various aspects of the game. So
okay, that's cool. That's a good answer. Thank you very much, Keeble. You guys ready for the next one?
yeah, sure.
Right, these were fairly heated questions. I'd like to know the answer to myself. These came back. I was about 30 of this question, basically. Why the lack of understanding of what the player base wants. When I say player base, I'm talking specifically about the 3 to 400 1%ers on the forum, with regards to feedback to the CPM, to the devs. Why is it currently devs, CPM, community? Why is it that way and not the other way around? Granted, the game belongs to CCP. They can do what they want with the game. But from my standpoint, which is why I like this question a lot, is that it seems to be a one-way stream, one-way traffic. It needs to be both ways. The community tells CPM, CPM tells devs. Devs tell CPM, CPM say, right guys, can't happen because of this, and unfortunately NDA here. Your answer, please, Soraya.
Well, I mean, the thing is that we shouldn't be the ones communicating back to players, because that shouldn't be indirect like that. CCP should be communicating directly to the players everywhere humanly possible. So the idea of saying that we should be communicating back to the players is wrong, because the only reason we would have to do that is if CCP isn't doing their job, which is to communicate to the players directly.
Fair enough. So, Manboy, your answer, please.
Yeah, I mean, I see that that's your impression, Bam. I mean, on my end of it, you know, I don't necessarily see it that way. You know, I think Rattati looks to us just because we're accessible. You know, talk to a small group of us, get clear answers, you know, offer our consultation, and then a lot of the time it's accepted, and sometimes, you know, it is, but they certainly check the forums. I mean, they're definitely taking what the out there, and not as if the CPM what gets done in the further from the truth.
You're really chopping up.
Yeah, I think CCP have nerfed your mic.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, fine. I think what.
Yeah. All I was saying is, I don't think that this idea that the CPM is somehow a gatekeeper between the community is actually accurate. I mean, we don't stop anything from getting through. We certainly try to get, you know, their attention when we great things coming out of the community, that's for sure. But we're not hindering the process. We're not trying to obstruct the communication between the community and in fact, if anything, we're trying to help facilitate better communication and promote better communication. So yeah, I mean, some people don't like the CPM for whatever reason. You know, there's everybody probably has their own reasons for that. But you know, from my perspective, the way that I see it as being involved with this process, I don't think that we're getting in the way. I don't think anyone has a particular agenda that they're putting in front of what the community wants. I mean, certainly we represent certain agendas and certain goals and certain things, because we had people vote for us based on the things that we believed in, the things that we. So that there's always going to be some of that there in terms of what we're all about. I mean, and anytime we promote something, it's often a reflection of what the voters expected from us, what the voters knew about us and believed about us, and that. But we're not stopping communication between CC. That if anything, we're trying to promote better communication so that that process becomes more streamlined. But it's difficult. So that's one of the reasons why they look towards us, because we are a small group of experienced players. And when Rattati is working on something, you know, right then and there, he wants to be able to, you know, talk to just a small group that he trusts. He looks to us for you know, some consultation, but you know, it's difficult for developers and the small team that's working on Dust to take hundreds and hundreds of you know, bits of feedback from the community. That's why the CPM's here. We're trying to sort of filter out some things. We're trying to direct information to them, and we're trying to make sure that CCP is aware of the best stuff coming out of the community. That's just my take on it. So I don't know. I don't speak for everybody on the council, but that's how I feel about it.
And fair enough, mate. Just put you into perspective. I have noticed that Rattati is engaging the community
upfront, bang, he's put, I think it was 20 odd threads with regards to what the community wants. But him bypassing the CPM so often makes me want to think that there's no need for a CPM. I happen to know there is, but yeah, moving on to Keyville.
User in your channel timed out.
Well, yeah, I'd like to echo what my fellow members said, that it isn't our job to tell people what CCP are planning to do. It's CCP's job. We are purely there as a soundboard for Retardi and the rest of the team, and we filter out, go through all the ideas that we hear in the forum. If there's anything that we think that's worthwhile, we immediately pass it up to Retardi if he's not already seen it, because that man lurks the forums all the time. But that's just the way he runs things. He likes to be, he's more of a hands-on kind of guy. Anyone that's worked, anyone that's played a CCP game before, they're probably not used to it. As to his communication skills and his style, we've been using the Trello boards internally. He'd been using them for a couple of years, but then he introduced us to them. And we all basically said, hey, this is a really cool thing. We've not known about this. And I can't remember which one of us mentioned it. We said, would it be a good idea if we had a public one of these? Just so people could know that things are getting looked at or spotted. They could catch up on it. And, that was, Retardi said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. So, it's not like we're trying to block or anything like that. If anything, we just encourage Retardi to speak even more, as much as possible. But like SMB and Soraya both already said, he likes having a small select group of people that he knows he can get hold of pretty much immediately, no matter what the time zone is. So obviously we're spread over the US and we're spread over the US and the UK, and so there's a big time frame where we're available for him to be able to get ideas.
Do you think he uses you in that? Or do you get contacted? Do you think you're involved on a really regular basis in that way?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yes.
It's reassuring to know, because we don't know. We don't know if he contacts you once a week and says, "Oh, what do you think of this?" or whether it's daily.
Well,
we talk to Retardi more than we talk to family members.
Yeah,
easily.
My next question, Booker. Thank you for jumping the gun.
like I said before, we were talking about earlier this week, Soraya mentioned in one of our chat channels that what kind of medication is Retardi on this week? Is suddenly going for PC and vehicle changes in the same week. So the man is crazy.
Yeah,
but he's a force of nature.
Yeah, but it's getting stuff done right though, isn't it? That's the thing. It's okay instigating changes, but it's instigating changes that work.
Oh yeah, and I think for me personally, the community would have to speak for themselves. But for me personally, Retardi's the man for the job right now.
Right.
It's exactly what we need.
That's cool. A good enough answer, Keyville. Thank you very much. Believe it or not, Booker jumped the gun a little bit. One of the questions I wanted to ask CPM in general is, do you guys feel that you are a valuable resource to the community? Because at the end of the day, the 1%ers put you in that position to talk directly to the devs. Do you guys feel valued enough, value, should I say, within the community to do that? That was my question I wanted to ask you guys. That's one of mine, yeah.
Well, I think one of the issues that's it's the hardest to demonstrate, because the examples cannot be public. But I think one of the most valuable things that we do is CPM has killed some really, really bad ideas, like long before they got anywhere, any sort of traction, and that has been probably one of the biggest things, but it's really hard to. I can't give you any examples of it.
No, I understand that, and if you give me an example, I'll kick you in the arse. Don't give me an example.
Yeah.
Just talk without using the NDA shield.
Please. That's been one of the biggest values, I think. And sometimes it is just making sure something that might have gotten missed on the forums is seen, and trying to get at least a little bit around the communication barrier where we can. I think there's value. But it's important to recognize that the CPM can't be the only communication channel, because again, it is a one-way communication channel in a lot of ways.
Thank you, Sarah. So, Manville, your answer, please.
Yeah, well, I'll just say that, my constituents, the people that voted me in, they're a part of that, the small part of the community that is on the forums. And, I know that one of your questions had the built-in premise that, why is morale so low in the game? But I'll sort of echo what, Denny said, which is, I don't know if that really characterizes the way that I think people feel. And in fact, my constituents, the people that I play with, the guys from Molon, people in General Sows, people affiliated with the Faction Warfare Army, these are people that are still excited about the game, that still play the game, that are diehards. And they have liked a lot of the things that have happened since the CPM 1 came into office. Now, again, I don't want to exaggerate our role in that, but they're glad to see that we're a part of some positive developments happening in the game. They stay up to date with everything, and while we can't really tell them much most of the time, they are excited and they're glad to see our involvement. And of course, on the other end of it too, Ritati and Frame have come out on the forums on more than one occasion and said that the CPM is important to us. It has value, and and I don't want to say that it's just because just the council that has value. I'm sure that they enjoy us as individuals too, but I think when we're long gone and we get another group of people in here at some point, those people are going to bring value to this process as well. I mean, I know that for a fact, because the work that we do with the developers is important to them, and so much so that they state as much. So I think that says it all, really. If they say it's important, then it's important. My constituents have been pretty happy with my involvement, even though they can't get much information out of me. So I think between those two things, that I feel confident that we are valued members of the community, that our council is important to the community. So that's how I feel.
Thank you very much for that answer as well. Kivo, just to reiterate the question again, do you feel that you're a valuable member of the community, helping the community speak to CCP? That was basically the answer. A question, sorry. Your answer, please.
Well, personally, I feel that I'm providing value to the community because, as Sarai said earlier on, there's quite a few things we've nixed before they even got anywhere, and it's important for us to be able to do that. But more important than just to say that's a stupid idea, we've actually got to give a reason why. That's very important to Ritati. He does not like fanboy answers like that. He really doesn't like, we can't do that because it's retarded. He'll want to know why. But if we can't give an explanation for that in like 10 minutes, he'll just consider us as not knowing what we're talking about. So, personally, I find myself being valued by Ritati. Not because of any form of ego trip, but because he's told us, thank God we've got a CPM to bounce these ideas off. We've mixed a couple of ideas, and then he's come back, or another member of the team's come back, and yeah, actually you were right, that was a really dumb idea, we shouldn't have thought of that. So personally, I find myself being valued by CCP. As to whether or not the community finds value in me being there, that's entirely up to them, and should I stand again, I'll find out whether or not they consider me value then. But I think I've done a reasonably good job. I'm not the theory crafter of the group, and I'm not the PC guy, but in terms of looking after the little guys, the smaller guys, and the guys that get regular stomps, that's my constituent. That's the new guys. Anything that improves player retention, I fight for. So you're
fighting the corner for PvE then, right?
I'll fight the corner for anything that helps new players. If PvE will help new players, that's what we'll have. That's what we hope to have.
Fair enough. Those are very good answers, guys. Thank you very much. Believe it or not, that was a two-part question. Do you guys feel valued within the community? And so on and so forth. Kevil, Solanboard, and Zell both touched on it. I think I've mentioned it. The people that you voted for were the 1% of forum users. Do you guys know personally that if every other member of the Dust community actually knows what the CPM is, and what are you guys going to do to inform the other 99% that the CPM exists? They are fighting for a better game, they are fighting for a better Dust, and they are calling CCP to bear.
Well, it's hard to. I mean, I would say that most of the people I've interacted with on the game who aren't, big forum people, they don't know what the CPM is. There is, the majority of the game does not know who we are or what we do or anything about us. But I think part of that, it's kind of a hard thing to solve, because a lot of the players in the game have no interest. They don't want to be involved in the community aspect of the game. They just want to go in and shoot people. That is a big portion of the game. And if people aren't interested in going on forums, and in some cases even joining corps, you're not gonna gain a lot of traction in convincing that group that it matters. But that being said, we still have to try to represent that community as well as the more hardcore dedicated community that participates on the forums and shows up on audio streams and also that sort of thing.
Good answer. Thank you very much, Soraya. So, Manboy, your answer, please.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what Zell said. It's difficult to engage a community that doesn't want to engage themselves. I mean, obviously CCP has a framework through the forums that allows the community to get on there and speak their mind and be heard. And if you don't want to use that, it's difficult for communication to reach you as well. So, beyond that, beyond trying to be adequately active on the forums, I also try to be active on Dust 514 subreddit over at reddit.com. I try to get on Biomass as much as possible. Thank you, Joel, by the way, for that. You're part in that. And I just try to be a good ambassador for the game when I'm in squads and when I interact with people that maybe don't get on the forums or don't have a lot of involvement outside communication. It's difficult, man. It really is.
No, I get it. If the people don't want to get onto the forums, it's their problem. I do get that. But the idea is, what are you guys going to do to further the 99% to get involved? But you guys have answered the questions quite well. Kevil,
I can only think you would have
please.
to have messages within game.
Yes.
Well, in terms of messages within games, I don't think CCP would, as a company, not just CCP Shanghai, they're sort of like not keen on that idea because it sort of like breaks immersion to a certain degree. So, I can understand them on that one. But yeah, I mean, in terms of getting the other 99, I mean, personally, what I've been doing with the emails that I send out all the new players that I've been doing for over a year now, I've told them about the CPM. I've told them I'm on it. I've got emails from people, and I've got an archive folder on my Eve client of questions from people that I'll pass on directly to me. That either send it directly to me via QL's inbox or Denny's inbox. And I like to think we've done it. If every corporate CEO did that, if they just mentioned it, sent out a corp mail every now and again to all their corp members that there is a CPM, it's not just up to us, of course. It's not up to the CPM, the members of the CPM, to promote the CPM. It's up to those people who on the forums who know about the CPM to also tell people in their corporations, they've got more access than we have to those corporations, to let them know that there's a CPM. So it can't all just be on us. But like I say, I mean, I think the total number of people that's gone through D-Uni now is something in the region of about 6,500. So they've all known about the CPM, because I tell them. So but it's it's difficult to engage people on a format like the forums if they're not interested in forums, because you have to have let's be honest, you have to have a certain amount of sadomasochistic tendency to go on the forums.
This is true.
Very true. Very true.
Especially Dust forums. My goodness.
Oh yeah, especially the Dust forums. I've spoken to Eve players at FanFest who've dipped into the Dust forums, and they go, Christ, I thought the Eve forums were bad. The Dust forums, they're like the Eve forums compared to the Dust ones are like kindergarten.
Fair enough. Yeah. Very good answers, gentlemen. Very, very good answers. My next one is a bit of a touchy one as well. This is also a bit of a rage question I got from someone. And the question goes like this: why do the CPM constantly troll people on the forums? That was one of his questions. Going on the lines of have the CPM forgotten their place? Who put them there? So on and so forth. Why do they troll the community at large? Soraya, your answer, please.
Yeah, why do they troll? I'm like, that question's for me.
Not necessarily. That was a large part of it. I troll the forums, and
it's mostly for Soraya. That's not bullshit.
I'm the troll. I know. I'm still a player, and I amuse myself, which is something I fully admit to. I don't think that there's any reason I shouldn't be able to troll. I try and be as legitimate as possible when I'm giving answers, though. And if I'm trolling someone, it is usually because I think their post is very, very bad and awful. I've actually had times where I will literally be very intentionally trolling someone's post, and then someone will ask me a actual question, and then I will give them a completely straight response immediately after. I troll for the comedy value, but I actually will fully respond legitimately if there is a question that is worthy of actually engaging.
No, that's fair enough. But the actual question is, why are the CPM such dicks to the community? Have they forgotten their place within it, and who put them on their positions of power? That one actually came from a very good friend of mine, a guy called Schley. Thank you, Schley, but that's his question. With more than one. He gave me like fucking 20, damn it. Damn you, Schley. So, Manboy, your answer, please.
Me personally, I try to not be so trolly. And I have had, a handful of not so great exchanges on the forums with people. A lot of times, though, I'll just be perfectly honest, because they immediately put CPM on the defensive. People tend to be very aggressive with us for whatever reason, like as if we're, somehow the people who are shitting in their cereal or something. I don't quite understand it, but I've had some altercations with people on the forums that started that way, and I did have one unfortunate altercation with another forum member with respect to an issue of bandwidth, and I wasn't really happy with that conversation, how it went. Out there and hears me, I apologize. It's aggression there, but sometimes when a forum poster posts information that isn't accurate or is particularly biased, I've taken it upon myself to try to correct the person, and then adamant about their position. Sometimes that conversation can go a bit negative. It's not ideal, it's not common, but it happens. But generally, my style of communication is not one that's trolly or mean or meant to attack people.
Oh no, don't get me wrong, I get that. I'm probably one of the worst shit posters on the forum, and I do thank you guys for actually allowing me to talk to you with Booker and the others that are listening in. But that was a question I actually also wanted the answer to. It was posed to me by 2 or 3 others, but the best way of phrasing it, I thought, would be, why do you troll the CPM? Although the question is a bit heated. Yeah, so, Keeble, your answer, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not renowned as a troller. I have done it a couple of times, but basically because someone's been, not worthy of a straight answer because of the way their attitude. I'm I'm like Soraya. You ask me a straight question in a polite and reasonable way, I will answer you as best as I possibly can. If you start getting clever, 9 times out of 10 I'll just ignore you. So that's probably the worst thing for someone who considers being a troll is being ignored. But that's probably the biggest trolling I do, is ignoring trolls, which they tend to not like.
That is a fair enough answer, and yes, that is the last sort of heated one. I'm actually going to put that page down. Right, my next question to you guys, and this is one of my questions, is what information are we going to find out? If any, is there going to be any information at FanFest? What are we going to find out? Is there anything you guys can tell us? I know this is probably going to be NDA flagged and all this bull crap, but what can you guys tell me about FanFest? Because at the end of the day, my connection to EVE is Dust. I'm not an EVE player, although I've got an EVE pilot. I'm a Dust player. I want to know about Dust, and I want to know about Legion. Will we hear about these two games at FanFest?
Well, we haven't really gone into yet. I think there is a point where CCP goes over, their plans for FanFest with, everyone and sets up the agenda and whatnot, and it hasn't really come to that yet. But Frame has stated that there will not be a big announcement at FanFest, and I take that to mean no keynote. They have said that there will. They have said that there will be. Also, they're moving. They have an empty. They've actually already talked about the keynotes a little bit, because they talked about moving the EVE keynote to an earlier day and stuff. And so there would be 2 keynotes, one on Thursday, the EVE one on the Thursday, I think it is, and the CCP Presents one, which is kind of their grab bag of future things that are probably never actually going to happen, on Saturday. But I believe we were told that Rouge and Rattati would both be there, and so there will be there will be roundtables. There will be kind of a gathering of sorts, I think, for the Dust players who do come, but it's not really a big thing for the Dust players, so I don't really expect a lot of Dust players to come, because you don't want to spend your money for a conference that's going to be 90% EVE at least. Aren't you just a little bit concerned that even a year after the non-Dust keynote, there's not even a Legion announcement planned for FanFest? I mean, doesn't that worry you a bit? See, the way I look at it is this: so we had a Dust keynote in 2013, and we got a lot of things stated, like what date they expected to come, these various things to come out, and it was completely unrealistic. It was complete nonsense. And then we had keynote. We had the keynote in 2014, where I think we could just say CCP torched everyone. And
let's just put that straight. That was not a keynote. That was a Legion announcement. Yeah. So there was no Dust keynote.
I guess it was a Legion keynote instead of a Dust keynote. But the point is we haven't exactly had like a good track record with keynotes from CCP Shanghai, and given the trend of the first to the second, I don't really want a third. I don't know what they do with it. But we're still waiting for a green light on anything Legion. I mean, it does worry me that there's nothing further on going on. I've got to express that I'm concerned that we're all up a dead end street. I think that that's definitely on CCP to communicate. I mean, there's no big announcement planned. But if there's roundtables that Rouge is sitting at a table and maybe somebody can pry some answers out of him there, I think it's reasonable that there might be a few things prior unknown to be said at FanFest if someone can manage to get it, because once a dev says it out loud in public, it's there. But there's as far as I know, no plans.
Fair enough, sir. So, man, boys, your answer, please.
Yeah, I think Zell gave you most of the important bits, but I'll be at FanFest. I'm excited. I hear that FanFest is a great time, and I hear Iceland in March is absolutely lovely, and that fermented puffin is probably the best tasting in the world. So I can't wait for that.
Fucking lies, bro. That is Icelandic KFC tastes like seaweed, dude, in salt water. It's lies, bro. Lies. I've been there a few times, bro. Ooh, I'll buy you a beer when I get there, though. How's about that?
Nice, man.
I'll even buy one for Zell after I put my foot in his ass.
I actually don't drink, but
tough shit. You're gonna drink this one, motherfucker.
This is my first fan fest, though, man. So I think it's gonna be great, and I'm hoping to run into a few Dust people while I'm there. I'm certainly gonna see some of my fellow CPM, but hopefully the Dust peeps will have a decent little turnout, and we'll all get drunk together or something. So,
happy days. Happy days. Keeble, you're on.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, this will in fact be my 4th FanFest in a row. So I've seen the Dust, the last 3 FanFests where Dust has featured. First one was when I went and they gave us the pass notes and they first allowed us to play it, and it was shit. So it was really. If you guys,
we've come a real long way in 3 years, right?
No, we have. I am not kidding.
I was there.
If you'd been there 3 years ago and played the original demo that we had to go on, oh my god. It was shit. I mean, we ripped it apart, the ones that were there, and fair credit to the guys, the devs that were there, the Dust devs that were there at the time. They were busily writing down the notes. We told them everything that was wrong with it, and then when that initial release came out on PSN Network, it was so much better than the actual demo one that we played only 3-4 months earlier. So they did take on quite a bit of board on that. So yes, I remember that first FanFest, and then we had the 2013 one. And even when I was watching that 2013 one in the audience, even I was going, none of this is going to happen. It was just pie in the sky. This is before I was on the CPM, so I can express that opinion because I told plenty of people that before I got on the CPM. I just watched CCPN Jen at the time, the executive producer at the time, just spiel off this stuff, and I just went, yeah, that's complete bullshit. That's not going to happen. And I was right. And then last year, of course, we had Paul Rouge's little snafu, which, to be fair to him, and if you don't know the full story, it wasn't entirely his fault.
So I know the full story.
Yeah.
A certain individual coined the phrase "rogue wedding," so that had me.
That was me
for a while.
Yeah, I feel like I still have to apologise to him for that one. We were all in the canteen. Kane and Charlie Eden and the rest of us, we were all there, and someone was saying, someone's already called it #Red Wedding, and I chirped up and said, well, he's French, surely it should be Rouge Wedding. So it's my fault. Sorry about that, Rouge.
Never mind. Very long-winded answers to a simple one is we don't know. But fair enough. That's fair enough.
There's no major announcements that we've been told of. I don't think it's NDA breaking to say that because Frame's already said it. But JC, Rouge and Ritardi and Frame are going to be there. So there's going to be round tables. We'll be there as well. I think there's 4 of us going. So
will it be round tables for the general public or just between you and CPM?
Oh no, we'll be
CPM and them.
I'll certainly will be shouting that we have a room given to us. So
stream this, Denny. I'm going to be very pissed off at you. I'm going to FanFest and I'm going to do my damn best to stream everything about the Iceland Legion.
Oh yeah, well, like I say, I'll try and record the meetings at least.
Actually, sorry if I can just slightly crash.
Go ahead.
This CSM minutes actually from the summit, they were actually talking about FanFest, and they did indicate, the CSM had pushed to say, you guys need to stream the roundtables, and I guess they'd in part said, for one, that they didn't have enough people to stream all of them, and in one part they didn't they wanted some things to be kind of FanFest exclusive or something like that. I don't know. It's in the public notes. There's a FanFest section on the CSM minutes. But I definitely would push to say that, particularly without a big to do, that it would make sense that we get at least something for Dust streamed. So, and if not, I'm sure someone will do that crazy. Well, I was on my phone recording it so I could post it.
I mean, I'll be doing that, and I don't think it'd be much of a secret, and it's certainly nothing we've been told. It's just my assumption on my part that this FanFest is probably going to be as much about Valkyrie as anything else, because I think that they said it was going to be sort of like launch, and if Katie Sackhoff actually makes good on a promise to rock up, then it's going to be mainly about Valkyrie, I think, this year.
Booker, if you're confused who Katie Sackhoff is, she's actually Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. Not
Starbuck's
dude,
a man.
chick.
Starbuck's a man.
Starbuck's
For
a chick,
goodness sake.
bro.
I know you're trolling me. He's a man, clearly, with a little robot. I know that was something else.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
the Starbuck
no,
that we
you
know
put a
from
shot there,
the
man.
new version. If anyone's not, by the way, if you go onto the CCP's YouTube channel, you'll see a message she gave to FanFest last year. If you hadn't already seen it, and it is quite funny, actually.
Yeah,
So.
that's where
Yeah,
I
we all
borrowed
saw
one of the things from of Katie herself. Right, now, believe it or not, that was my attempt to pull some information about Eve, FanFest, and Valkyrie, and Legion, and Dust, and all that jazz. But my next question to you guys, okay, and this is one of mine. With the dwindling concurrent user counts, okay, player base basically, being drawn into new and other games, what is the likelihood Legion's going to be greenlit? And what is the lifespan of Dust currently as you guys see it now? Because as we all know, Dust is on borrowed time. However, we've been having some new developments on Dust, so that's obviously shifted the borrowed time right. So let me rephrase the question. With the drop in player count and Legion still not getting greenlit a year after, when do you guys see a rise of Legion and sadly the death of Dust? Sarah, you first.
Well, what I can say is that we have no timeline for the shutdown of Dust, and as long as it is still, players are still playing it, it's still working well, then I see it continuing for quite a while yet. Obviously, we can't really speak much as to the other game.
Well, it is the Legion beta, so probably go for as long as they need it to get Legion out, hopefully.
Fair enough. So, Manboy, your answer, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think the short and narrow of it is that I don't know. We're here. There's development now. There are certain markets that are doing well for Dust. So while it's a game that's in decline, perhaps in the U.S. and generation of consoles is in decline and in places like Europe, I mean, there is quite a bit of activity in places like South America and Central America, and so it's not completely dead. And clearly, there's been a spike in revenue that's helped facilitate further development on Dust. Changes to or this new war barge thing that they're talking about is clearly related to that, and the other recent changes. So, my hope personally, and this is just based on what I hope happens, this is not actual information that I'm giving you in any way, is that they are going to make some decision in the not so distant future about maybe Dust or whatever it's going to be called to a next gen console. I mean, nothing would make me happier personally.
Yay!
Nothing would make me happier personally than seeing Dust on the PS4. I'm okay with it going. I'm okay with it being a PC game, but I'm a console player through and through. I mean, I play Skyrim on PC, but that's a different story altogether. But I would love that. But I don't know anything more than what.
Fair enough. Kivo, your answer, please.
Yeah, hang on a second.
No rush, dude. No rush.
Yeah, sorry about that. Again, I'll have to reiterate and be boring. We don't know. There's been no discussion about Dust closing down of any kind. The game is progressing well in terms of its development. There are things coming in the roadmap. I mean, the roadmap itself takes us up until April, and that's just the stuff that we're working on immediately. So it's Dust isn't going anywhere anytime soon. The game is running well. It's now on a more financial footing, from what we understand. We don't get that kind of detail, but Taddy's got the team working so well now. And we all know the redundancies and everything that went on, but it's much more streamlined now. Stuff gets done so much quicker.
Fair enough. No, I get it. It's a very tough question. I do get it. And the general consensus from you three is you don't know. And that's fair enough, because there's conflicting evidence with regards to no green light from Legion and development from Dust and so on and so forth. But I need an opinion from you guys. When do you guys think Dust will slip into the dark void of nothing? Please, can I have an answer from you guys? Soraya?
I think it's still to be measured in the scale of years.
How many years?
Wow.
I need a direct answer.
I couldn't fathom a number out of my head.
1 year, 2 year, 3 year. It's not a 10 year like we were promised when we first started.
Yeah, there was a 10-year game plan, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Fine. Fair enough, Sarai. You don't want to answer that first question. Fair enough. So, Manboy, your opinion, please.
Oh wow, I feel like Johnny Carson when he used to do that Swami thing. I got my note cards against my forehead and all that.
I am putting your head on the chopping block here, dude, and I am putting you over a barrel. I get that.
Yeah, well,
but
listen,
I'm asking
man.
a direct question. I would like.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
that
Absolutely.
answer, please.
Well, here's the thing. I don't look at it in terms of when is Dust going to be dead, when is the next thing going to be here. I look at it in terms of New Eden first-person shooter. What's the future of that? Well, I think the future is bright. I think we're going to have that, and it's going to be a continuation of what we currently have for the foreseeable future and beyond. I think the long-term hope for pretty much everybody who's involved in this game, the people who play it, the people like us who are sort of like, facilitating communication. We all want to see the New Eden first-person shooter be as successful and last as long as the New Eden spaceship game. So we have high hopes for Dust or whatever it's going to be called. Just like I'm sure EVE players have high hopes. So I don't know when Dust is going to be gone. I think it'll probably have something to do with whenever they do tell us what the next step is, because the next step is going to finally probably put the death in the previous step. So if we ever get told that Dust is coming to PS4, then that will be your sign that Dust on PS3 is going to be dying. But we don't have the next step in front of us yet. No one's announced it. No one's told us anything. So there's no way to know for sure, but I think Dust, or rather the first-person shooter future for New Eden is bright. That's my hope. That's not based on anything that I know in terms of special information, but clearly everyone who's involved in this does not want to see shooter game just evolve into the future and then not exist anymore. I don't think anyone sees that happening or wants that to happen.
No, I get it. You don't want to answer that question either. But I'm going to impress upon you to answer it. Months, years, decades? Soraya has said years. I will put a little less pressure onto you there. Years, months, decades?
Yeah, Dust on PS3, years. I mean, clearly it's not. The PS3 is only going to be around for a few years. So yeah, years. We'll go with years.
Fair enough. I do get it's quite a touchy subject. When do you think Dust is going to die? And I do get that. Keevil, your answer, please. And please don't make it a long-winded one like Soraya and So Manboy. Although, as much as I respect their answers, please can I have a simple, direct answer? Yes, 5 years, yes, 3 years, yes, 2 months.
Probably for years. That's my answer. There you go. I mean,
dodging questions, lovely.
No, it's not really a dodging question. That's genuinely my. I like SMB said, we shouldn't really think of it as Dust or Legion, as more New Eden's first-person shooter-up. And as far as that is concerned, CCP are still relatively keen on it. Particularly Hilmar, because last time I spoke to Hilmar about it, that's fantastic. He was all for it. So, it doesn't matter to me personally if it's on the PS3 or the PS4 or the PC. Whenever if or whenever it happens, it's still going to be the FPS of New Eden. That's what's interesting me. The format is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned, as long as the actual game itself continues in whatever format it chooses to go on.
No, and again, that's fair enough. I do get it's a tricky question, but I'm going to ask one more time. Can you guys give me a straight answer?
I'm going to change my answer, Bim. I'm going to say Dust will be dead at 7:24 tonight. Eastern Time, US.
I swear to God, if the servers go offline, I'm going to come for you, dude. I'm coming for you, bro.
I heard it was 7:23, but
You insider.
Yeah. The servers actually were shut off like 3 months ago, and we're all just imagining them still running.
Don't joke about that. Yeah. The Asian server went, so yeah. Okay, and that
Next on the hit list.
Believe it or not, that was all the questions I have for you guys. Unfortunately, the rest of the guys could not join because they have other responsibilities in their life, i.e. family, and as we all know, family is the most important thing in life. Soraya, Sir Manboy, Keevil, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you for everyone else for putting up with my voice for the past hour or so. Thank you very much, guys.